What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Today is a good day. We are going to debate, discuss, and tear each other's heads off. We're going to create chaos because XXL has finally unveiled their 2016 freshman list. It's a little late than usual, but XXL can reveal the list at any time in the year and it'll still have the internet going crazy. So for the 2016 class, it's as followed. 21 Savage, Anderson .Paak, Lil Dicky, Lil Uzi Vert, Herbo, Desiigner, Dave East, Denzel Curry, Kodak Black, and Lil Yachty. Now, I'm going to sort of break down each artist, just an analysis, some of my thoughts on each artist, and then I want you to chime in. I want you to tell me what you think of this year's freshman list. Who's your favorites? Who are you not feeling? Let me know in the comment section below. So, without wasting any time, let's get into it. 21 Savage. He's been building such a huge buzz in Atlanta and in the South in general. His Slaughter King mixtape album, whatever you want to call it, was exceptional to me. I like his voice a lot. I think that's what really draws you in. It's like that voice. And then like the content itself. He's not doing anything new or innovative per se, but he has a direction for it. The street rap. He has a direction to do that. And he has a story to tell. I don't think there's a project out that really showcases his overall talents. Like one that makes you say he's next. He's going to be like on the same level as a Future or a T.I. or something. There's not that one project yet. Maybe T.I. was a bad example. More like Waka Flocka. Those two names, Future and Waka Flocka. But I think his upcoming Savage Mode mixtape is what it's called, I believe, is going to showcase that. It's the one that's produced by Metro Boomin entirely. There's rumors that Drake is supposed to be on it, on one of the songs. And with the freshman cover, it's kind of all eyes on him. And I'm sure it'll drop sometime this summer. He's been previewing stuff on Snapchat, on Instagram, at live shows. And so 21 Savage is someone who deserves his spot on the cover list. And another person who definitely, without a doubt, 100% earned his spot is Anderson .Paak. Malibu is still one of my top 5 albums of the year. And I still play it like it came out yesterday. I just love his sound. He's so unique. He's so vibrant. And he's like someone who doesn't really fit in with the entire class. If you look at like who is in the class and what type of music they make, Anderson really shines. He stands out. And I'm glad that he got it. I was saying a few months ago, if nobody else gets the cover that I like, at least let Anderson get it because he's very deserving. And I'm just looking forward to what he's going to do next. I know Malibu's still fresh, and I'm going to keep playing that and playing that and playing that and playing that. But I want to see like where he goes from here. With Dre backing him, co-signing him, and having him on Aftermath, I wonder if Dre has another superstar on his hands. I honestly think out of everybody on the list, Paak is the superstar. There's always at least one superstar that's going to come out of every freshman list, and I feel like it has to be Paak. He just has like that universal sound. He's one radio hit away from really winning, so that's my pick. Third on the list is Lil Dicky. He's probably the WTF moment of the cover because a lot of people look at him as like a parody of a rapper. Like he's not a real rapper, but to me, I think he's talented and he's funny. He adds a level of comedy to his music, and I think that's why I enjoy it. I'm not saying he's like the best rapper or, anywhere near my top 20 per se, but he has some really good records that I liked. Save That Money has like 44 million views on YouTube. It's a cool record. It's a hit, but it's a hit because of Dicky standing out. He's making a hit out of like the traditional sound that you hear hits are made of, but the subject matter is something that only Dicky can really pull off. I liked it. I love the record. And then my favorite record from him so far is Professional Rapper featuring Snoop Dogg, because I love the concept of him, and Snoop Dogg having this conversation and making it rhyme and going back and forth, and it's creative. It's something that Snoop hasn't done. I don't even know if he's ever done something like that. He's had storytelling records, but he's never had a concept like Professional Rapper. And I think that's why it worked so well, especially as an intro for the album that he put out, which has the same title. So to me, Lil Dicky has the buzz for his spot, but I understand that people look at him like, what? Seriously, this guy? No. But I personally like him. Next up is Lil Uzi Vert. As I said in my review for Lil Uzi versus the World, I don't think he has his own identity yet. He just sounds like every other rapper that's out. He has catchy music, yes. Catchy music, so I get that. His stage presence is strong. He's very energetic. And he's able to create music that gets stuck in people's heads. Stuff that you want to quote on social media. And that's a huge, crucial point for an artist in 2016. And so I understand Lil Uzi's appeal, but I can't say that I'm like a fan or that I've heard anything that really makes me go, wow, this is wow. I haven't heard that yet. But like all artists, I'm going to continue to give them chances. I'm going to continue to listen. And probably as a guilty pleasure, I really like the Canadian Goose record on Lil Uzi versus the World. Like, sometimes, because I listen to that project so much to review it, sometimes some of the music gets stuck in my head randomly. I'll just be like, and then like The Weeknd quoted his, I think it was, I can't remember which song it was. It was like You Was Right. I think it was. He quoted one of the lines from that, and then that song was stuck in my head for like the rest of the day. I was like, what? So it has that effect, and so I get it. Next up on the list is Herbo. He is someone who is kind of like the Chicago wild card. In the past year, you can make arguments for a lot of Chicago artists. Maybe not a lot, but a few Chicago artists that are deserving of a spot. And for the past few years, Chicago has been represented really well on the XXL Freshman list. And for good reason. They've had some good artists that were perfect for the cover. And it was interesting to have Lil Bibby get the cover over Herbo a few years ago, simply because like they were kind of at the same point in their careers. Maybe even Herbo was a little bit further because he had the Nicki Minaj record, but now he's getting to shine, and that's good because his fall from 2015 was really good. Ballin' Like I'm Kobe, the mixtape, good body of work. And he's about to go on tour, on the Smokers Club tour. He's making the right moves that he needs to make. And I think he's going a little bit under the radar. Just because I don't think anybody was expecting him to be on the list. When they saw the voting system a few months ago, I don't think anybody was like, yeah, Herbo's going to make it. He was just there because he's a buzzing artist. But now that he's actually made it, I think it's a really good thing. But like I said, he's the wild card for Chicago. You could easily interchange him for, say, a Montana of 300, who has also been creating such a huge buzz for himself. And he's one of the few artists that comes to mind of like being omitted from the list. And I'm like, how do you overlook Montana's accomplishments? But that's a whole nother debate entirely. Next on the list is Desiigner. My opinion on Desiigner is as followed. He is just, I don't know how to really describe him. He's a future clone at this moment in time. He has all the elements to succeed though. He has the backing from Good Music, the co-sign for Pusha T and Kanye. Mike Dean is executive producing his debut album, which is titled The Life of Desiigner. But I don't know if he's going to win. Like, we don't know because he doesn't have much music out besides Panda. Panda is really the only thing we have that represents Desiigner's career thus far. It was a huge hit, and it makes sense why he's on the list. Popularity-wise, you don't have too many artists that have been talked about in the last 6 months as much as Desiigner. He's had the Life of Pablo co-sign on the album twice. And like I said, I want to reserve my full opinion on Desiigner until we get his debut album, which probably coming in the fall time. But like I said, I want to give people a fair chance. Maybe Panda was like one sound, and then he has a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, at some point when you have Pusha T and Mike Dean and Kanye, like all these people are excited for you, and they really believe in you. I think that's enough for the internet to want to check out what's coming from him. So we'll have to see when a full body of work actually surfaces. You know, again, his spot makes sense, but time will only tell if he'll actually, be a star from here. Or if he'll just be a one-hit wonder and fade into obscurity under the good music branch. Next on the list is Dave East. Dave East deserves it. Dave East deserves his spot simply because he spent the last year really building a buzz, and it feels organic. Like, it wasn't something that seems forced. It seems like people on Twitter would get hyped to him, get hip to him, and then spread it from there. Hate Me Now, his last project, I think it's also counted as his debut album, was exceptional. And he has a Nas co-sign with Mass Appeal Records, so that's a good thing. He's done records with The Game, Jadakiss, Rico Love, so many other artists that have, lended their co-sign to him and worked with him. And Dave East, it's only really a matter of time before he continues to get bigger and bigger. I don't know how far he can take it, but he's got the appeal musically. He's got the look for, the ladies. And I want to see him win because out of everybody on the list, I think he's probably the most lyrical. Like, he's the most pure MC that you have on this list. And for that sake, I want to see him continue to use this XXL look and, go further. Next on the list, and one of the most surprising picks, is Denzel Curry. He's most surprising because Denzel is very much rooted in the underground scene. He's not tied to many artists and camps. He pretty much keeps to his own, but he's sold out tours across the country several times already. He has a cult-like following. His music is really unique as well. I think the one takeaway from his music so far, because I'm not huge into the music yet, I've listened to his last two projects, Imperial, and whatever one was before that had a complicated title, but I listened to those two projects, and the one takeaway that I had was his flows. This guy is he can flow. And the lyrics are good too. He can really flow. That's what I take away from Denzel Curry is the flows. They're just so amazing. Like, you just hear a flow and you're like, yeah, this is going to be good. And I think the other thing, I remember seeing Denzel perform live at a Joey Badass concert in Seattle because I think he had a show the next day, but he was here early, so Joey Badass was in town, so he came out and he had the crowd going crazy. That's what his music is. Like, when I talk about the flows, I'm thinking, how crazy would this song be if it was performed live? And I think that's why Denzel is winning. And again, it was a surprise to see him on the list, considering he doesn't fit in with anybody else on the list. The only true, not even cosign, but the only artist that I've seen him work with recently is Rick Ross. But aside from that, he's pretty much kept to his own circle. Next up on the list, fellow Florida native, is Kodak Black. If you had asked me what my opinion is on Kodak Black last week, I would have told you he's okay. But I took it upon myself to actually listen to him today, and I listened to his project, Little Big Paak. And to me, he sounds almost like a young Boosie Badass. Like, when I first heard him, I heard records like Skirt Skirt and whatever else was popping on YouTube. And those are not the records that I think showcase Kodak's best side. I think he's at best when he's kind of reflecting on his life and what he's gone through thus far, similar to Boosie. That's what I hear. I hear a young Boosie, someone who has the potential, who can really, he can make it far in terms of like how Boosie has made it. Boosie has such a huge underground following. I don't look at Kodak Black as someone who's going to be a huge mainstream star, but I think he can do really well, especially when he gets out of prison. I know he's locked up right now. The one record for me that I liked was Everything 1K off of Lil Big Paak. That was the record where I was like, yeah, this is kind of like a Boosie. So if you had asked me last week, I would have been like, I don't really care for the skirt, that type of sound from him. But when he gets on like the introspective stuff and talking about his environment, that's where he really shines. The last pick, Lil Yachty. He's the fan vote. So he's, how do I describe Lil Yachty? I listened to 4 songs on his mixtape, and then I had to turn it off. I could not stand it. It was probably one of the most horrible projects that I've heard this year. After the Minnesota remix, I was like, okay, cut it off. I heard Young Thug's verse, boom, I'm good. But then he did 2 verses on Post Malone and Chance the Rapper projects, and I'm like, wait, he doesn't sound annoying, he doesn't sound trash here, he actually sounds halfway decent. So maybe the more decent records on his debut mixtape are further on the track listing. I don't know. I would love to know what songs in particular people really gravitate towards, because the first 4 songs I just was turned off all the way. But then I heard those 2 other verses. I'm like, okay, maybe he has some talent. I don't know. But I think it's a testament to his growing fan base to see him get that fan vote. It's not easy to get the fan vote. There's like 40 different artists on that voting system. And Lil Yachty is brand new. He doesn't have huge industry cosigns. He just has a fan base, and they voted the hell out of him compared to other artists who might even visually have more like followers and YouTube views and sold more albums. Like, just the fact that Lil Yachty was able to get on here because of the fans says a lot about where he's headed. Now, that doesn't mean I have to like him musically, but I respect him. And I think that's the thing that I take away from this year's freshman list is I don't necessarily co-sign everybody, but I understand why everybody is on the list. And my final thought on this year's freshman list is this. I want anybody who watches this video who doesn't know of any of these artists to really Google them. YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Give them a shot. If you're saying, I don't know who this artist is, I don't know who this is, educate yourself. Get in tune with who is popular. And I'm not saying that you're going to like everybody, but you should give everyone a chance before you judge it, before you judge the cover, before you say, oh, who is this guy? He doesn't deserve to be on the cover. He probably does. And your argument that so-and-so is a much bigger name or is also deserving is probably right too. There's no right or wrong answer with this XXL list. So that's all I can say is I want everyone to listen and give every artist a shot. And then if you don't like it, hey, I'll respect your opinion and you can say artist sucks, but at least give them a shot. At the very least, that's all you have to do. Now, in the comment section below, I want you to let me know what you think about this year's freshman list. Who are your favorites? Who don't you like? Who should have been on the list? Whatever. Debate, discuss, create chaos. That's the tagline for this year's XXL freshman list, is to do just that in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at @SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.